Come here, baby. It's nothing bad. I just need to talk to you for a minute. Yeah. I want to tell you something. I just want to let you know how good I feel about you. Okay. Here I go. Our chemistry is so amazing. We're dealing with so much romancing. There is nothing that is written. Oh, it's good things that we just can't forget. And we don't need to be prudent, 'cause we know what we wanted and we got it. Our fire's so hot you can't extinguish. We'll survive, yeah, we'll flourish.
Gizelle.
Walk a mile in my shoes, you wouldn't know what to do. I deserve to be free. Now I know how to be. You will never harm. Taking over my body, test drive, take me past the speed. Let's ride, and it is so true. All the things I feel for you, that's what I'm gonna do. It only with you, that's why I go so far. You touch, you touch, you touch, you touch. Got me going crazy, loving you so much. You love, you love, you love, you love. Don't look no further, no problems left to solve. You touch, you touch, you touch, you touch. Got me going crazy, loving you. How you heard her? Been so busy living your life, you forgot about mine. I never asked to be here. How did we end up here? Then it's wrong to my heart tombstone. I'm contemplating life. Now you got my mind playing tricks on me.
What's good, everybody? It's your girl, Lizzie the Goddess, and my lovely co-host with me over here.
What's up, guys? It's Gizelle, and we're so excited to be back for another episode. And if you would love to be a guest, please email us, herpointofview@aol.com.
Y'all already know what this is, From Her Point of View Talk Show, and we got something amazing for you tonight. I mean, you know, we always like to turn up the heat. But before we get into that, I'm going to let you know that if you are interested in looking up any of my content, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Flawless Dreams LLC. I greatly appreciate the support. And if you Google Lily the Goddess, you can find me on all social media platforms. Go ahead and follow.
And I'd love for you guys to follow me as well, everywhere at Gizzy Worldwide. That's Gizzy Worldwide.
So I want to introduce to you Brigette Wiley, ladies and gentlemen. She's a legendary house music vocalist, okay, publisher and founder of the famous Chicago Bridge magazine since 1999. The last publicist of the late great icon Roy Ayers and DJ Brigette Wiley. Welcome to the show, Queen. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence.
Oh,
Welcome to the
wow.
show.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. That was very powerful.
Mhm.
So, yes, I'm Brigette Wiley, and I am the last publicist and of Mr. Roy Ayers. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Which was a very good friend of mine as well as a client. Friend, family, client, business partner, everything,
Mm.
everything to me. Mentor. Um, I am the publisher of the Chicago Bridge Magazine, the famous Chicago Bridge Magazine, the first independent publication to cover the red carpet of the BET Awards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Woo!
The first
That's what I'm talking about.
independent, yeah, the first independent in Chicago. Yeah.
Wow.
Is
Wow.
that
And
your
what's your
first?
zodiac sign?
I am a
Before you say
Scorpio.
it, I wanted to guess.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
but you're a
sorry.
Scorpio. It's okay.
Well, you know, as
But
Scorpios, we proud to say what we are.
right, right, right.
Hey, are you a September or November Scorpio?
October.
Oh, you are. I'm sorry. Why did I say September? I meant October. Okay,
Yeah.
September, October. Okay, yeah, September, October. You October. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, because September is the end of it is Libra. I'm sorry. Yeah, October or
Right.
November. So yeah, you
Mhm.
October. All right. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good.
Where can
What
everyone
I love
follow
it.
you at?
What are you guys zodiac sign?
Oh, both are Sagittarius. Me and her.
Okay.
Me and Lily the goddess.
All right. Awesome.
Can you tell everyone where they can follow you at before we get into our girl talk?
Yes. Brigette Wiley on Facebook. Well, Brigette Bella Wiley. And the Chicago Bridge Magazine. You can just Google me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask, since this is a from her point of view talk show, and
Mm.
we are, is your pronoun her? You know, the pronoun situations going on. She, her, you, yeah.
You know,
So from your point of view, what do you think of? Well, number one, are you in the dating scene or tied down? And what do you think of the dating scene?
well, I am divorced. Probably been divorced for maybe 10 years, maybe. But I had married my, I guess, after high school sweetheart. Um, so I'd say about 3 or 4 years after my divorce, maybe longer, maybe 5. I'm telling my age now, I know. But I decided to get into a relationship like about 5 years later. And I just recently broke up with my boyfriend
Oh, wow.
um, about a month ago, officially.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm,
Like no hope, no hope for it. It's done.
No hope. And that was a 7 year relationship.
Wow.
mm.
So, you know,
Hmm. So what do
But
you
it
think of the
happens.
dating scene? Or is it something that you're going to jump back into, or you're going to
no,
just take? Yeah.
definitely not.
Right.
At this point, I
Mhm.
feel like I'll be probably single for the rest of my life.
Oh my. Well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's how
It
I
it
feel.
definitely feels like that. I'm agree with you. It definitely could feel like that. From your point of view, do you feel like it's like there's like deep down inside in your Scorpio being
Hmm.
there's not even a little ounce of like a hope?
For a relationship?
Yeah. And if
No.
you don't mind, what was this person's zodiac sign? I got to know.
Virgo.
Oh, that one I could have told you that wasn't gonna work. I could have
Yeah.
told you that.
Virgo. Yeah.
What was the first one, if you don't mind me asking?
Libra.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Listen here.
But
Do
but
you
but let
see
me say this though, really, before
what's
you
up?
start dogging out my ex-husband,
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. I'm
kids,
not.
daddy, all of that, the business partner, best friend of mine, still my best friend.
Mhm.
Um, it wasn't that. It wasn't like I hate him or, I mean, we went through when we first got a divorce, of course, we went through like anger. We were both angry with one another and nitpicking about, everything and why we broke up. But deep inside, I love him and he loves me. And we're still
Mm-hmm.
best friends. Maybe he's
Mm,
remarried now. So we're
Right.
not the type of best friends that talk every day, or you know what I'm saying? I would say I believe in soulmates. So I would say he's
Mm,
probably I believe we have more than one. And I
Mm,
believe
mm-hmm,
soulmates could be women too. You
mm.
know, just
mm,
other human beings,
Friendships, like
period.
friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friendships. Yeah.
So I would say
mm-hmm.
he's probably one of my not probably, but I would say he's one of my soulmates. Which
Mm.
means we'll always be connected in some kind of way.
Right. Do you
Mm-hmm.
guys have any children?
Absolutely.
You have any children?
Oh yes, we have
Mm.
my only three children by him,
Right.
and we have grandkids.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he
Oh,
does.
so cute.
Yeah, he does have he's remarried, and he does have a couple of more kids from his wife.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you the
Yeah.
type of
Well,
person that wouldn't date someone based on their zodiac sign?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah.
You don't believe in just
well,
giving everyone an individual chance?
Well, you know what? My mother was really deep into she's deceased now, but she was really deep into zodiac sign. I mean, like, probably everybody's mama back in the day. You remember when they used to post them in the newspapers? Well, we had tons of newspapers and she would read them off. And she was very like into it. Like she will talk about it a lot, how that person is because they're a Gemini, stuff like that.
Right.
So that's instilled in me. So
Mm.
definitely, like right away, if you're a Gemini guy, now we talking about guys here,
Right.
a Taurus guy, then right away, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Wow.
So,
Mm.
and a lot of people they think that it's just going by the month. You kind of have to, we have a chart. We have the month, and we have the rising sign, and then we have the moon sign, and then the year sign, and that's our chart, and it all matters because that's the reason why how like some Scorpios they may not have the same things in common with another Scorpio. It's because they might and also like age plays a part, upbringing, all that stuff matters. It's not like a one size fits all type of breakdown. you
right.
know and that's why if you were ever to end up with someone who, let's say, astrology says you're not entirely compatible with, but
Mm,
because of what's in their chart, because of the other things that are in their chart, might
right.
help balance, might bring that balance that the norm would say, oh no, I would not date this person. But if the rest of their chart looks like it balances,
Mm,
depending on what zodiac signs they have. See, like for instance, perfect example. I'm Sagittarius, November Sagittarius, Giselle's December Sagittarius, right? And I have a rising. My rising sign is Taurus, where rising
Mm.
depicts on how like my outer appearance and how people see me from the outside and such.
right.
Then my moon sign, I have a cusp moon sign of Virgo and Libra. And then I'm year of the tiger. So you see, all that plays in a part. That's my chart.
Right.
So when I look into someone, I don't just ask their month sign. I gotta know the whole chart because then I need a breakdown of what I'm getting myself into. You know,
Mm,
and also upbringing matters. Everything matters. You
yeah,
understand? Everything
definitely.
matters. And then because like I said, it's not a one size fits all type thing. Breakdown.
That's
Right.
true.
But when I said what I said was because I have a Virgo daughter and I got a
Mm.
Virgo sister. And I know for a fact, I'm obsessed over them, first of all, and I adore Virgo. Sagittariuses tend to adore the heck out of Virgos. Why? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But we do because they tend to be adorable. It don't matter who the Virgo is, they tend to have these like cute, pudgy cheeks and big smiles, and their smile can, and then they're so cute, and then they're funny without needing to try. For instance,
Mm.
Melissa McCarthy, Jack Black, and heck, even if you've watched Beyonce talk, sometimes she could be very funny. Like they're just naturally funny. So that's an example right there. That's just just little, and then there's an innocence to them. There's an innocence to the Virgo that we all tend to gravitate to because they're cute. They just cute, and then of course they perfectionists. Of course they want things done a certain way. Blah blah blah. Blah, blah, blah. With that, sometimes they don't even want to lift a finger because if you ask a Virgo to do something, it might take maybe the next year before it gets done. Depends on what we're talking about.
Right.
Just depends. Just depends. It depends. So yeah, I know. I always ask people, what is it that you're looking for? And at this point of your life and your career, what, from your point of view, what would you be looking for if someone were to approach you with interest? What's the first, what are red flags? What are green flags? What you looking for? That's to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's to you.
I thought it was Gizelle's turn.
Nah.
Well, I mean, you probably shouldn't ask me that question because, I'm fresh out of a relationship and I'm not looking for, you know what I'm looking for now, really? Relationship with my back into myself, a relationship
right.
into myself. Because that's another thing. I stayed single after my divorce for a long time because I was loving myself.
Right.
Okay. And I feel like when I got into that relationship I just got out of, that at some point I must have stopped loving myself. I wasn't clear about it until now, or when things started getting bad. Then I began to see that, hey, you ain't loving yourself no more. Or you're not loving yourself the way you used to.
Right. I always think about that because I've chatted with my friends before. Like, if you were to put like another person in your shoes to compare the things that you may endure, or maybe tolerating or settling for, like say if it was your daughter, or like, would you want your daughter to be dealing with this thing or be treated this way, or would you want your son to be dealing with these types of things? And then when you think about that, you wouldn't want that for them. So then you come back to self. Like, then why do you accept it for yourself? Like,
Right.
we have to love ourselves. And when we're tolerating and settling for things that are not, not what would be true love, genuine relationship, genuine kindness, friendship, respect, things like that, then we are not loving ourselves. So it's good that you spoke on that you had to realize you finally realized that maybe you weren't loving yourself as you should.
Right. Yeah, and I'm embarrassed too. And I guess more so embarrassed. I'm very disappointed right now in myself. Because when you step away from the situation after it's all over, when it's really over, then you really see how it was really bad. I mean, it was bad enough to leave, but when you step away from it, you see, man, that was really bad. You know what I'm saying? You begin to see like that it was just bad to me. Okay, just not anything that not anything that I would have wanted to deal with, or like you said, wanted my kids to deal with, my grown
Right.
adults. You
Right.
know, and so with that being said, I'm embarrassed. that I even
Well, listen,
allowed.
don't feel that embarrassment. You know,
Yeah,
we're human. You know, things are gonna
yeah.
happen. We're gonna
But
go
but
through
I'm
things.
55 years old.
But you
So
still a work in progress.
I know,
You
but
don't look
Right.
it.
I feel
You don't
thank
look
you.
it.
I thank you. I
You don't
just feel
look it
like
at all.
I should what I really should have known better, way better. You know what I'm saying?
But should we? Is there an age where we just get everything right?
No, you're right.
No.
I
So don't
mean,
beat yourself up about that. It ain't your
we
fault that
steady
the
growing. And
right.
I guess I really kind of beat myself up about it because it's like, and I'm gonna keep it real. I'm 55, so I got more years. I had more years behind me than ahead of me.
Mm.
So I just feel like I just wasted a whole lot of time, a
I
whole
can
lot of
I can agree with you.
time.
Yeah,
You know what I
time be
mean?
getting wasted.
And then when
I,
you're in a relationship that's not of you, that's not that what you used to or what that you can't thrive in, like with your business, because I'm really into a lot of different businesses. I
mm,
feel like, man, I feel like it hindered my businesses, just, and it ain't just me, but everything, my whole entire life. I feel like I just, you know, and it's all my fault. It ain't nobody's fault. So now it's like I got to get back to myself, like just evaluate myself again. Like, why did you even allow that? You know what I'm saying? So I won't allow that again, you
yeah.
know? And I'm
Have you
just
ever
hoping.
experienced maybe like it was maybe something that may have been like intimidation with the things that you were doing in the relationship that may be why you were able to why you weren't able to like do your businesses as you should have? Like maybe like your partner was intimidated or jealousies or not on one accord.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Because, and you know what? It's funny because, and I want to say this, it's very important that we be honest with ourselves
Right.
because I seen it a whole lot. And what I mean by that is I saw me and at the time I wasn't being honest with myself. I'm thinking I'm all strong and stuff, right? This person ain't really affecting me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so I'm feeling like, don't get me wrong, I'm doing all this stuff in my business. My business is still growing and, being successful, and I'm making successful moves and stuff. So, I'm telling myself this ain't even affecting me. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, I know that person always felt like the bigger I get, and I kept saying, I'm already big. What you talking about? That I
Mm.
will leave him.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think part of me was like, because I am a really caring person, and I don't, and I'm real big on people taking me like I'm using them or use them. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't never want to be seen that way. So I feel like part of me was like, um, stayed in a relationship because I didn't never want him to feel like I was leaving him because of
Mhm.
my big opportunities that I kept getting or because of my
Right.
business growth. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But but I know that. I know I was feeling that, but it's like I wasn't admitting that.
Mm. We have to
Like you
trust ourselves.
right. You be knowing,
Yeah.
but knowing ain't good enough. You
Mm.
gotta admit it, accept it, you know what I'm saying? And do something about it. But if you're not accepting it, that that's your true feelings. I mean, you know it, but if you ain't coming to terms with it, admitting it, then you're not going to make no changes. You just won't.
Mm.
And that's the power of it, admitting things.
Yeah.
Is it first starts with that.
Hmm.
Once you admit it, you can't you can't take that back. You can't pretend no more. It's out. Like, you know, it's out. So
Yeah.
you can't take it back. You can't pretend. So now you are challenging yourself to what you gonna do. You
Mm.
just admitted it. So what you gonna do? Like what? You got to do something now.
Right. Hmm. I think that's very powerful. I think that's a very powerful life lesson for women and people in relationships of all ages. And
Mhm.
partner insecurity is a very very common thing, especially among the males with women partners that are like successful or very like serial entrepreneurs or just you know dabbling in a lot of things or have big dreams and or like to
Mhm.
dress a certain way and then a lot of the partners have insecurity that they're going to get left or she's going to get too big or and then I even saw a man break it down like how he would strategically break her confidence to just bring her down so that she can
Wow.
need him and so she can not feel so high about herself and then the broken her would need him and how he was telling it was like it was like a storyteller but it was like evil but he was doing this on purpose so he was like and then here I come, oh, put my arm around her, like and then
Wow.
he'll smile like my plan is work like it like they literally try to break
Sound
you
like a
bring the woman
narcissist.
down. Yeah, he said
Yeah.
he was a narcissist. He said he
Wow.
Oh, I
admitted
know who.
that he
That's a
was a
YouTuber. Yeah,
narcissist.
I know who that is. I know who that is. I know
These
who he is.
narcissists is trending these days, huh?
Mm. Yeah, I've heard of him because even shout out to our brand ambassador Lizzie Smith has shared me, like she was sharing me some of it. My sister was sharing me. She said, "Listen to what this guy is saying. This was literally my ex husband," and da, da, da. And I'm like, okay. And it's a lot of and nothing's in black and white ever. And shout out to everybody who's taking the time to love themselves. From your point of view, do you feel that people are not being honest enough with themselves and therefore being straightforward to the person who is taking an interest in them, and that's why there are so many relationships that are not really long term, they're sort of a short term.
Mhm.
If people were honest with themselves, you know
Right.
it doesn't mean you have to be a jerk. It just means you have to be honest,
Mhm.
so that you're not, first of all, I don't like to waste people's time. So
Right.
I have no problem just being direct, so because I'm like, I'm doing you a favor.
Right.
And I feel like people need to do that. But from your point of view, do you feel like it's a secluded situation, or is it really the masses of not enough people doing, you know, being honest with themselves and the person who's taking an interest in them?
Brigette.
Yeah, I feel like it's on the level of a whole lot of people because at the end of the day it's about growth. It's about growing. And obviously I had a lot of growing to do. I thought I didn't, but I did, and he had a lot of growing to do too. And so that's a human nature thing. So yeah, I think it's human. I
Yeah.
think it's not enough people being committed for growth.
Mm.
At the same time, should I say? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I
Mhm.
guess that's what kind of make a really great relationship. Sometimes I don't know. Because my ex-husband, and what I was about to say is what I think that makes a greater relationship is when this is two people trying to grow together. But then I
Mhm.
stopped just now in saying that because me and my ex-husband was on that path of growing together. Like we've done landmark education, a self-enhancement, a course. over the years. Like we were
Wow.
heavily involved in growing and learning about our past and letting it go our past and misperceptions, and how we come up with the misperceptions,
Wow.
and committed to, you know, separating misperceptions from facts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which the misperception is really what rules our life, and the way we design our life to be is most of the time from the misperceptions, because it starts from a child, from childhood, on different incidents. you know we paint a picture, this is how life is supposed to go, and put a box around it, and we gonna go outside of that until we start to grow and learn, hey, that ain't that ain't how life really is.
Right.
And a lot of the misperception too, sometimes, and I would say all the time, it's a mixture of yours and your parents, or
Mm.
whatever adult that was in your life the most that you admired and you copied off of. Because
Influence
we've
you.
copied off of every, so we've
Right.
copied off of some adult who
Hmm.
I don't, everybody individual, you might have copied off your auntie, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
whoever
Right.
it was that you looked up to. But we've took their life and their experiences as a child and made it real,
Mm.
not even knowing the details
Right.
about what their experiences were,
Mm.
but that's how we develop how life is,
Mm.
until we start to learn from
That's
experience.
like repeating a cycle.
Yes,
Right. Right. Hmm.
until we start having our experiences.
Hmm.
Because, you can be told things is this way, but you're not going to get anything really until you go through it yourself,
Right.
until you have your own experiences. That's when you start developing how things really is,
Right.
so. But yeah, we did a whole bunch of growing together. We did businesses together. I mean, some was successful, some wasn't. we
Right.
we lived a really powerful life. That's why I'm so disappointed in myself.
Mm. Right. Well.
Because I feel like, and this was at a young age, like we had thousands of dollars, at a young age.
Mm.
Like we had $1 million. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Wow.
In my 20s, and this is with my ex-husband, like all through my 20s, my 30s, some of my
Wow.
40s. So
Hmm.
it's like I went through a whole lot of life lessons
Right.
and growth. So in the financial way, in the business way, in the relationship, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kids, all of that. So I'm gonna just keep it real. I just feel like I was way too grown and had too much experiences to be dealing with the relationship I just dealt with.
Mm. So I can understand from that point of view.
Yeah.
So do you think that, just going backwards just a little bit, like, do you think, with how things, obviously, y'all have gone your separate ways, do you think maybe because we were talking about how growing together would make the perfect relationship, but then you backtrack because you were mentioning that you were doing that. So do
Right.
you think that, so what's the good formula? So if growing together can still lead to separations, and if one person, specifically the woman being like the breadwinner, can many times lead to partner insecurity from their male partner, what's the formula to a successful relationship then? Is too many ventures, um too much success, a recipe for a disastrous love life?
Can I ask you that same question?
Yeah,
What's
you
the
can.
formula? What's the
You
you
so you
tell
don't know
you
the
tell
formula.
me now. Well, I think each relationship individually is different. That's the bottom line. and we
Mm-hmm.
relate to them differently. With my
Right.
ex-husband, I think that for me, it was patience.
Mm. So I will say, maybe if I'm answering that question, I mean, I don't have the answer. I don't have the secret recipe, but I
Right.
will say maybe, that's why being on one accord is very
Mm.
essential, and
Yes.
being equally yoked on one accord,
Yes.
because the at least the probability is higher for a
Right.
successful relationship. Like you said, like with all the experiences you had, you should have known better than what you got into. Maybe
Right.
you guys weren't on one accord, and you already knew that, but you just
Right.
went into something, you was just giving it a try, you know what I'm saying? Free bird in the
Right.
wind. And then you got what you kind of already foreseen,
Right.
and probably a little more. So
Well,
being
with
equally
him,
yoked is
mhm.
important.
With
I, I
him,
got
if
I
you
got
go
I
ahead.
got the formula, but I'll wait till y'all get done.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear it.
The reason why I say I got the formula is because I'm and this is a blessing that I have two parents that have lived that example, because that's our example, are our parents, to be that example of what is the formula, how do you make something, relationship have longevity, how do you make it last the rest of your lives together. um People expect things to be perfect.
Right.
Lower those expectations. It's okay to have disagreements.
Right.
It's okay to fight, as long as it's not physical altercations and it's not like domestic violence stuff. If people are disagreeing and it is a strong disagreement, sometimes it can get like an ugly disagreement. But as long as you come back, because nothing's gonna be perfect,
Right.
like the little, like all perfect, like Brady Bunch. No,
Yeah.
you're gonna have disagreements. You're gonna have difference. You're gonna collide heads. You're gonna have this opinion, that opinion, and that's okay. What's needed is the acceptance, because see, what between my loving parents, God bless them, they've been married since, and they have a lot of years together. And one of the things that they've highlighted is their friendship.
Mm.
Acceptance, friendship, communication, trust,
Mm.
honor, respect. And it's respect towards oneself too, because you have to respect yourself, and a lot of people don't know how to do that part.
Mm.
See, we learn all these things at home.
Mm.
And then what we can't learn at home, we try to learn as best as we can out there.
Mm.
Whether it's you went to school and you know a teacher who's married long term, or those are our idols. These are people that are living example of what we hope to attain when we reach their chapter in their life.
Right.
We're not there yet. So some of us take a little bit longer to get to that chapter because of life situations, whatever, the surroundings that you're in, like, maybe you're not going to the right locations and meeting that person that's into the same things that you're into. A lot of females, they ask the question, how do I find somebody I'm into? Go to the places that you're into, and then that's step number one. Number two, friendship.
Mm.
Friendship. You
Right.
got to have a friendship with your partner. If you ain't friends, all right, what the heck?
Right. Right.
But a lot of people
It's
only focus on, like, oh, I'm physically attracted to the person. I want to get in bed with them. No,
right.
you
Right.
gotta have friendship first. You gotta be able to see past all that, because if that person doesn't end up having those same physical features anymore, or they got a
Right.
missing leg, or they got a missing arm, or whatever the case is, are you still gonna find them attractive? You're just gonna love them?
Yeah.
Friendship develops is the foundation. You have that friendship is the foundation, and also
Mm.
acceptance. Accept that not everything is going to be perfect. You're going to want to strangle the crap out you. You know what? And this is true. This is a true story because it's important. There was a time where my mother had to just separate herself from the house, but my parents have never been divorced. but they took time to, like, how some people say, oh, when somebody moves out, it means divorce. No, that's not true. It means somebody, like, maybe it could be depression, or it could be some other things that came in and affected, communication. It affected the love life. It could, whatever it is, if you have to take that time away and regroup and then come back, then you do that.
Right.
But because here we are, my parents still live under the same roof, and they still live together. But they are my prime example of the formula of what could work.
Right. Right.
So that's what so if you want to look for, so long story short, if you're looking for a formula, who's your formula? Who do you know is still married to this day in a long-term happy marriage?
Right.
Who do you know?
My mom
Because
and
that's
dad
who
were
you're.
married. Yeah, my mom and dad
There
were
you go.
married until death did he part. And
Then
in
there you go.
2000. So yeah, he
That's the
died.
form. Then that's the formula. That's your
So I
answer.
do
That's the
have a
formula.
good picture and a good I have a good I would say role model of like a long-term relationship, marriage and things
Yeah.
like that. So I saw
Yeah.
that firsthand, and it was so I kind of, and so when I think of that, like just going back to what Brigette said, some things that I've done or tolerated, I know better because I wasn't raised a certain way either. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of know better from our life experience, from whomever we were influenced by, whether it was parents, auntie, whatever, or life experiences. We know better sometimes.
Right.
And so when you know better, do better. So there's a question
Right.
here. Let me try to read it. Bring it back up. Bring that back up.
We got a few questions.
From a male point of view, to me, it is easy. We make it hard. My formula is care about her, surprise her with random affection, compliment her more when she's having a bad day, always inquire how she is, and kiss, affection. But what about when the chips are down? So that's when things get like when the chips are down, and just before that part, when you were saying the friendship. It's people that are in relationships that don't even like each other. They're irritated about how they snore, or how they giggle, or how they dress. But you got into the relationship for the physical things and for these superficial reasons. We really don't like each other. So that's not a recipe for longevity. So that to the comment, yes, definitely, like showering with love, caring, checking on them, asking how they're doing. But that should also be reciprocated. So it can't be just one person doing, because that'll mean you're pouring out your vessel, and then you're going to end up being empty if you're not being poured back into. So the same things, similar things that you're doing should be similarly done back to you. That's what I was saying.
Yep. What about you, Bridget?
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say just patience, really. They say patience is a virtue, and it really is. I would say, like with my ex-husband, I didn't have too much of patience. But then with my boyfriend, I had a lot of patience. And I purposely, had those patience with him because I knew that was something I didn't have before.
Right.
So, with that being said, I felt like that, probably would have been a better I felt like the relationship was going to be better because of that.
Right. But it takes two to tango. So you can be patient, but are we being patient and waiting on a person to change, or waiting on a person to like transform?
Right.
That's when you shouldn't be being patient.
Exactly. So, and I think for me, all above. That's another thing. You should not ever try to change nobody.
Yeah.
Never.
People are who they are unless they want to make a life change. They have to choose that. Like people can just change and become religious, or they can change and become a vegetarian or
Yeah.
a certain light diet lifestyles or whatever. So if they can make those commitments, they also a person who is a serial cheater or whatever can make the choice to stop. Like,
Yeah.
but it's within them. It's hard work, it's hard dedication, but it's their choice. You can't make nobody change by crying, begging, watching them, trying to be the best you that so that they can see your worth. If they're not seeing it, they're not going to see it. They're going to see it when you're gone, though.
Right.
And, that's usually how it goes. But, change is a choice that an individual has to make. You cannot change anyone. You shouldn't be trying to change nobody, because if they weren't what they should be, then you shouldn't have been dealing with them, unless the change was for growth that is not characteristically. Because you cannot change someone's character. People are who they are. They got to do that on their own.
Yeah. And that's when you try to change somebody, that's a big responsibility on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big job. And you shouldn't even do that. You shouldn't even put that on yourself.
Right.
Like you said, if they ain't made these changes already or showing that they, trying to make these changes, then right then and there, you need to decide that's not for you.
Because then you become like a parent, like a mother, and then that is irritating to your partner. That is like, that will be what they will perceive as nagging, annoying. Yes. You're really trying to help them. You're trying to do it, but it's becoming motherly. It's becoming parenting. It's becoming too much. So you gotta watch that too.
I think some guys want that.
Really? They want what? Yeah, they want the help, but they want the help, but when you really give
the mother
them the
thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the mother.
They get
figure.
Annoyed.
Yeah.
Or a mother figure in a relationship, but they'll get annoyed eventually.
Yes, you do. But I feel like there's a missing void for them in that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that just feels, I mean, it's annoying, but at the same time, it's familiar and it feels good.
Right.
In a way. Because it feels like home, should I say. You know what I mean?
Right. It's a lot of people with mother issues. And I feel like as women, as mothers, they say, oh, you can't raise a man and stuff like that. Yeah, I feel like both parties, like the fathers, male role models, male figures, and women, mother, auntie, whatever, is important to the development of men and to the development of women. So the woman's part, the mother's part, is crucial to the development of a man as well. That the father or a male role model cannot give him. And that part is, from our experience, from our point of view, we understand how women work too. So we can shed that light to them, like, like what we've went through. Do not hit women. Do not be, and then we can also say, do not be used by women either. There's a lot of using going on out here. We can instill that in our young men. We can also teach them, be patient. And another thing that needs to be taught is when children come into play. A lot of homes get broken and things because men don't have the patience for the change, the mental, the hormonal change that occurs in the woman. Like the intimacy is going to go down. Like the time is going to decrease for you because baby is up all the time. So now, y'all are kind of like separating physically, emotionally, all that because the baby and things are changing. And now whether he was doing it before or just started, but now he's seeking that intimacy from someone else. Patience is something that we can teach, especially when children come to play. Then also don't forget to remain friends, to have your intimate time, to have date night and things like that. We can instill that in young men. So it is an important part that women, mothers, women figures play in the development of a man. And a lot of men, they don't have that. They don't have mothers that was raising them. Like they just going outside, just doing whatever they want. Like they're not getting. It's a lot of people, women that are not nurturing their sons. So their sons lack emotional intelligence, are not patient, not emotionally really connected, or just avoiding issues. You know, like when things start getting too rough, they walking out the door instead of like addressing things. You know, so I feel like the nurturing of a woman figure in a man's life is important too. Well, you know, we got to get out of here. I know I've rambled a little bit. You have anything on to that point?
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with what you just said. We definitely need to, you know, all that stuff you just said is real.
right.
You know, when the kids come, the sex changes, you know, the intimacy, the privacy, you know,
Right.
being private with your mate, all that does matter. You know, and for me, hell, I'm in menopause. So there goes some more changes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just important for a man to again be patient and try to understand, because women, we go through a whole lot. Emotional. We have a lot of different changes. I mean, we have a lot of changes going on as young women. We got that monthly, you know what I'm saying? So with that monthly comes a different attitude, you know, different feelings. Then when the kid, when we have the pregnancy going on, there's another new emotions and you know, things to deal with. Then when the pregnancy is over with and the kids, that's another thing to deal with.
Right.
We talking about all these different changes in attitudes and you know, emotions.
Right.
So I think it's very important for men to kind of like really learn about all that, because it's real. You know, and you know, I know you guys heard men joke around about it, but it's really a real thing that's taking place.
Right.
And it really should be taken seriously, because that is the reason why I think part of the reasons why the relationships are going bad, because of the lack of understanding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I don't want to just be one-sided. You know, the men are going through different emotions. So you know what? My sister is a doctor, and she recently told me that men go through menopause too. And I did not know that.
Well, that would explain it.
Yes. She said they go through menopause too. Ain't that deep?
Yeah.
I wonder if they know that.
I doubt it. But that would explain some things.
Yeah. So we sitting up here accusing them of acting like us. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
because they choosing to act like us when it ain't even that. They going through emotional changes too from hormones.
Well, Brigette, we had a great time chatting with you. I wish we had more time, but we do have to get out of here and till we meet again.
No.
Yes, it was a pleasure speaking with you. And can you tell everyone a little bit just about yourself, where they can follow you one more time?
Sure, you can.
We're gonna get it back, Brigette. We want you guys to follow her at the Chicago Bridge magazine. Publisher and founder of the Chicago Bridge magazine. You can get back in. And also a house vocalist. Is Sylk, the full her full house music name. She's also a DJ and a publisher. She was a publisher for Roy Ayers. So a very profound and very renowned woman, Brigette. So we thank you guys, and I would love for you guys to follow me everywhere at Jizzy Worldwide. Lily.
And please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Flawless Dreams LLC. You can also Google Lily the Goddess.
And there you go back. Just tell us where we can follow you.
I'm
Brigette.
back. Thank you. You can just Google me.
Mhm.
The Chicago Bridge Magazine.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Good night.
Big ups to I Said It. Thank you, I Said It. Love you guys.
Yes. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.